Most people don't realize that attraction can disappear much faster than it appears. One small behavior, one careless moment, or one unconscious habit can quietly change how someone feels about you, even if the date seemed perfect on the surface. Psychology shows that what turns someone off is often less about looks and more about emotional signals. By the end of this, you will understand the subtle behaviors that quietly reduce attraction and why they trigger discomfort in the human mind. This is not about blaming or judging, it is about awareness. When you understand what pushes someone away, you gain control over how you show up in your relationships. Attraction is not logical, it is emotional and instinctive. The brain constantly scans for safety, respect, and emotional balance. When certain behaviors appear, the brain reacts before the person can explain why they feel less interested. Let's explore what actually happens beneath the surface. One of the fastest ways to turn someone off is excessive self-obsession. There is a big difference between confidence and constant self-focus. Confidence feels calm and secure. Self-obsession feels loud and draining. When someone talks only about themselves, their achievements, their problems, or their opinions, the other person's brain slowly disengages. Psychologically, attraction grows through emotional exchange. When a woman feels seen, heard, and emotionally included, her brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. When the conversation revolves around one person only, that emotional connection never forms. Instead, the brain interprets it as emotional imbalance. Over time, this creates distance rather than desire. Have you ever noticed how people lean away or stop asking questions when they feel ignored? That is not rudeness, that is the nervous system protecting itself. Genuine interest is shown by curiosity, not performance. Attraction deepens when attention is shared, not monopolized. Another major turnoff is being too touchy too soon. Physical contact has emotional meaning long before it becomes romantic. When touch happens without emotional safety, the brain registers it as intrusion rather than intimacy. Even light touches can feel uncomfortable if trust has not yet formed. In early interactions, the brain is still assessing boundaries. If someone repeatedly initiates physical contact without clear signals of comfort, it triggers alertness. This does not mean touch is bad, it means timing matters. When touch aligns with emotional readiness, it feels exciting. When it does not, it feels stressful. The most attractive physical interactions are often the ones that happen naturally, without force or expectation. A woman who feels safe will lean in on her own. When someone rushes this process, it communicates impatience and a lack of emotional awareness. Attraction thrives in comfort, not pressure. Now consider appearance and clothing. This is not about wealth or fashion trends, it's about effort and self-respect. Untidy clothes send a message long before words do. The brain forms impressions within seconds, and visual cues play a major role in how someone is perceived. When clothing looks careless or unclean, it can signal a lack of awareness or consideration. Attraction is strongly linked to the perception of competence. When someone appears put together, it subconsciously suggests reliability and maturity. When someone appears careless, it can raise doubts about how they handle other areas of life. This does not mean overdressing or pretending to be someone else. Authenticity matters. The key is balance. Clean, well-fitted clothing that reflects your personality communicates effort without insecurity. That effort is often interpreted as respect, not just style. Another powerful attraction killer is constantly talking about an ex. The brain associates repeated mentions of past relationships with emotional unresolvedness. When someone talks about their ex often, it signals that part of their emotional energy is still stuck in the past. Attraction requires presence. When attention drifts backward, emotional availability feels limited. Even if the stories seem harmless, the listener's brain begins to feel like a comparison is happening, whether intentional or not. This creates discomfort and emotional distance. There is also a subtle message hidden beneath this behavior. Talking about an ex too much can suggest a need for validation or closure that has not yet been achieved. Most people instinctively avoid emotional complexity early on. They're looking for connection, not emotional baggage. Have you ever noticed how the mood changes when past relationships come up too often? That shift is not accidental. The brain naturally pulls away from situations that feel emotionally unresolved. Another common mistake is making sexual topics the main focus too early. While attraction does include physical desire, emotional attraction must come first. When sexual talk dominates early interactions, the brain can interpret it as objectification rather than interest. Psychologically, women often assess whether they are valued as a person before feeling comfortable with sexual expression. When intimacy is rushed verbally, it can feel like the connection is being reduced to one dimension. This creates emotional shutdown rather than excitement. True chemistry builds when curiosity, humor, and emotional presence come before sexual tension. When intimacy grows naturally, it feels thrilling. When it is forced into conversation too soon, it feels awkward or unsafe. Timing is not about rules, it's about emotional attunement. Now consider hygiene, one of the most underestimated factors in attraction. Hygiene is not just about cleanliness, it's about responsibility. A clean body, clean clothes, and a clean environment signal self-care and respect for shared spaces. The brain associates cleanliness with health and stability. Poor hygiene can trigger subconscious aversion because it violates basic comfort expectations. This is not superficial, it's biological and psychological. Attraction weakens when the brain feels uneasy. Hygiene also extends beyond appearance. A messy living space or neglectful habits can communicate avoidance of responsibility. In modern relationships, competence and independence are deeply attractive qualities. Claiming inability to care for oneself often has the opposite effect than intended. Here's a question worth reflecting on. Are your behaviors making someone feel relaxed or alert? Attraction grows when the nervous system feels calm. It fades when the nervous system feels tense. Most turn-offs are not dramatic mistakes. They're subtle signals that something feels off. What is surprising is that many of these behaviors come from insecurity, not arrogance. Over-talking, rushing touch, or oversharing often happen when someone wants approval. Ironically, these behaviors push people away instead of pulling them closer. The key to attraction is emotional regulation. When someone feels comfortable with themselves, they move slower, listen more, and observe boundaries naturally. That calm energy is often far more attractive than any rehearsed line or strategy. Another insight many people miss is that attraction is less about impressing and more about connecting. Trying too hard can signal fear of rejection. Being present signals confidence. The brain responds to authenticity far more than performance. When you focus on making someone feel comfortable rather than making yourself look impressive, attraction forms organically. That comfort creates space for curiosity, laughter, and genuine interest to grow. Attraction is fragile, but it's also simple. It thrives on respect, awareness, and emotional balance. Most turn-offs are not permanent, they're habits that can be changed once they are noticed. As you reflect on these behaviors, think about moments when attraction faded in your own experiences. Often, it was not because of one big mistake, but because of small signals that added up over time. The most powerful shift happens when you stop asking how to be liked and start asking how to be emotionally present. That presence is what makes someone feel chosen rather than pursued. In the end, attraction is not about perfection, it's about alignment. When your actions align with emotional awareness, respect, and patience, attraction has room to grow naturally. If any of these insights resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on how you show up in your connections. Awareness is the first step towards change. Feel free to share your thoughts or experiences, and stay curious about the psychology behind human connection.